Man, out of all the names you could come up with for a nail-biting, gritty, home invasion thriller, Tiger House? Tiger House stars Kaya Scodelario, Douglas Scott, and is directed by Thomas Daly. So what's up, guys? I'm actually starting my 31 Days of October primer. That's what I like to call September, my primer. Now, I've already done a few movies already, and those are going to be unveiled in the first week of 31 Days of October, the weekly video. But before I get into this review, I want to give a heartfelt shout out. One of my subscribers, Caden Adams, he lost his brother recently. And he sent me a message on Instagram and he asked me if I would give him a shout out. And, you know, he just expressed that the smallest thing, like doing a movie review, you know, just entertainment really can help you get through some of the toughest times. And my heart goes out to you, Caden. I can't imagine what you're going through, losing a big brother like that. So anyway, this review, it's for you, buddy. So sorry for your loss. But anyway, let's get on with the review. I wasn't even going to review this movie, but this one kind of jumped out at me. You know, there's some things about this one that I really like. It's an unknown film. At least I didn't know about it, and I thought, you know what? If it's that unknown and I want to recommend it to people, then I might as well review it. So that's what I'm doing. So Tiger House. It's a home invasion film. Your main character, played by Kaya Scodelario. I hope I don't have to say that last name again. It's brutal. But you might remember her from the Maze Runner films, at least one of those films. She is the star. She has a boyfriend named Mark, who is well off, and she is kind of from the other side of the tracks, and she is breaking in his window. And she breaks in at the wrong time because at the same time, his house is under a robbery. And so this turns into sort of a Die Hard scenario. She luckily is not seen by the robbers, but they've taken the rest of the family hostage, and they've taken the father, who is a banker, to rob the bank. And so she is left to fend for herself in this house. And luckily, she's an intelligent young girl. She uses her wits, and the fact that she's a gymnast comes in handy too. Now, first and foremost, what I really enjoyed about this was the fact that it is a home invasion film. It's probably my second favorite subgenre. Slashers are my favorite, but I guess you could say home invasion can kind of slide into that slasher genre a little bit. But this one was a pretty decent one because of the main character. Kelly is such a fun character to watch on screen, and Cara does a great job portraying her. Once the story kicks in, once the robbers do their thing, and she has to, you know, be resourceful, fend for herself, she has a chance to actually escape, but instead she stays behind because she wants to save her boyfriend and his family, who don't really think the most of her to begin with. We notice that early in the movie. But aside from all that, at her core, she is a good person. She wants to do the right thing. She wants to help them. And that just makes us root for her even more. And there is another Die Hard moment in this movie where she impersonates the villain. And that scene plays out really well because she puts on a gas mask, and it's just a fun scene. But, I mean, long story short, she is the movie. You know, that's why I wanted to recommend this to you guys. You'll have a lot of fun with this movie because of her. Does that mean there are problems? Yes, there are. Our main baddie here is Douglas Scott. You might remember him from Mission Impossible 2, also Ever After. But he's taken out of the picture pretty early on in the film because he is injured. But my biggest problem with that is there's nothing really memorable, even though we have some you know, high caliber stars in this. Also Ed Skrein, you might remember him from Game of Thrones. He's also in the new Transporter movies. This must be something that he did before that, because this film was done in 2014 and it wasn't released until 2015. But he's that stereotypical new guy on the block. We've seen this in movies a million times, and better versions of him, to be honest. But he's cocky, he's a loose cannon, and he really doesn't bring anything new to the table. Really, none of the villains in this bring anything new to the table. And also, my big problem with it is the ending, which is pretty predictable. I would have preferred them go in a different direction. And I know it sounds like I'm beating up this movie quite a bit because of the villains, but the main character, Kelly, is so good, so interesting, so fun in this movie that it gets it a high humdrum. Just ignore everything else around her. You know, just ignore the stereotypical ending that we get with the twist that we don't really care about. Just enjoy it for her. I promise you, you'll have a blast. And also, guys, before I go, make sure you become a member of Killer Flicks, especially now more than ever, because we are just about to get into October. I've already started a dedicated 31 Days of October thread. If you remember, you can go in there and you can update daily what movies you watch. And that's what I've been doing myself. And it's a great way to go through there and find movies that you've never even heard of. And I've been posting my ratings of said movies, and a lot of the other members are doing that as well. So we're having a blast. Also, if you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.